Hi Sagittarians, this is your reading for the week of February 16th, or when you hear it and it resonates, and it will not be for every Sagittarian. So what I'm seeing is it's symbolic what I'm seeing, and I'll explain why that's important in a minute. What I'm seeing is you standing in the middle of your home, and without realizing it, there has been an energy in the foundation of your home that has been slowly seeping into the rest of the home and creating an energy that is not really supportive of feeling good. And the feeling that I'm getting as I'm looking at this is it was something that was a part of the structure of your life as you were living it, or as you have been living it. And that while it has been having an effect, it's only recently that you're started to look down at your feet going, oh, yeah, look at that. That's been there. Let's open all the windows and let's open all the doors. We're getting rid of what caused it, and now we're cleaning the space out. Now, this can happen on a couple of different levels. Okay. What you got here is you got loss or liberation, right? Now, loss or liberation, I love this card because basically this card is, well, I'm just going to read it. It'll be easier. Every time we lose something or someone, there's also liberation from something. Time constraints, emotional or financial investment, obligation, responsibility, or a role we've taken on. We choose at any given moment to focus on whether or not we perceive the loss or the liberation. One is heavy, one is light. But sometimes we're so used to the weight of loss that initially the loss creates fear instead of potential relief. Sometimes we have to look at the judgments and the emotions the loss brings up before we can appreciate the liberation. And I feel like that's part of what you're doing now, is you're looking at some of the emotions that the loss brings up. And that's part of what the opening of the windows and the clearing out is, because while it may be related to a concrete situation you're experiencing now, what this also relates to is old belief systems that may have helped create the situation. But even more importantly than that, it's giving up the idea that things should have been different. What Spirit started saying to me as I was pulling the cards, it was this. Now, I'm getting it back. And that is that it's really important for you, thank you, for those of you who are in a conflict, either concretely now or still conflicted in your mind about situations that happened to you, things that didn't go the way you wanted them to go, being in a position where, for example, you might be estranged from XYZ. It's really important, especially if we feel that we have not been treated well or if somebody has behaved badly. This is what's important. It's really important that we decide not to consider ourselves better than the others or superior in some way, which often happens when we feel like we've been hurt. It's like, well, they should have known better, right? Or the victim quality always incorporates a certain quality of, if somebody has hurt me, then they obviously are the bad ones, right? Okay. Now, what Spirit is saying about that is this. Whenever we perceive ourselves as being better than someone else, what we are energetically doing without realizing it is we are creating a power dynamic. When we create a power dynamic, because it's not neutral, right? So we create a power dynamic, and within the nature of power dynamics, as the personalities deal with each other, there is always going to be a sense of one being better or being superior or being more powerful than the other. So what Spirit is saying to you is this. Who says why not? Why have you got it in your head that it's got to be this way or that way? What is it from the past that is preventing you from being able to Embrace the liberation. What is the emotion there? Because you might find, as you investigate the emotions around loss, that you might find yourself looking at areas where either you have felt superior or you have let the other person feel superior. Or it's that power dynamic. So where is that power dynamic holding you in relation to either a person, people, or a situation that is not serving you? That's where you look at what is holding you back. What is the belief? What is the idea that is holding you back from being able to have compassion? Because compassion, it's compassion allows you to be able to be curious about a situation and ask the questions you need to ask for your own growth, for your own benefit, without really being in judgment or criticism. Discerning is different than judgment. Discerning is a clear evaluation of a situation, whether or not somebody's values, actions are in keeping with what works for you. Judgment is making them wrong for being that way, or thinking of them as less, etc. So what you're being asked to do is, by all means, discern. But if you notice you are in a situation where there's a sense of power fluctuation back and forth, either in real time or in your brain as you're considering things, do your best to have compassion for yourself and everybody else and focus on the liberation. If it feels heavy, if it feels frightening, if it feels anything that is causing you to focus on the loss more than the liberation, check it out. That's a doorway into something that is going to allow you to be more free. I want to reinforce something here that's important, and that is whatever foundation you're dealing with now, remember that it was created from your past, right? From the choices you made in the past. So as you are losing or being willing to give up the situations that can feel like a loss, you are deliberately creating liberation for yourself. You are actively using whatever isn't working for you now as a way to clear away whatever belief system energetically is linked to that. Okay? You're being told intuition is everywhere. It is all around you. And you know what? The more you can have compassion and be as neutral as possible, take back your power, and be as neutral as possible and not superior in some way as you are looking at people who have not worked with you in the way you would have liked or lived with you in a way you would have liked. You are going to be getting more answers about how to use this time for your great growth. Because, Sag, you've got great potential and possibility for wonderful things coming up in your life. The more compassion you can have for yourself and everyone else in the situation, especially for you, but really seriously for you when you start going into concerns about power dynamic, please have compassion for yourself. Claim back and realize that you have the option to decide loss or liberation, and use your intuition. Open to your intuition to help guide you through whatever it is you need to be guided through as you grow through this process, because it is a growth process. It is a growth process, okay? So I'm going to leave you with that. Take care, my dears.